So we got the go-kart here. We got a little oopsie going on. You can see this has been welded. Looks like probably with a 110 wire welder. Real beauty part of it right here. They hit a big old bump. Got it up on, I think, a couple wheels. Had it sideways. You can see the welds there. So that's probably from a 110 wire welder. Looks a little botchy. Keep you in on as much of this as what I can. We'll grind all this out that we need to, clean it up, weld. We might have to put a little brace across it and weld that brace on top of it. And I'd like to go from down there where that third brace is, from right down there to up here, or at least from the center down to it. So you got all these bars down the side of the go-kart coming up. Let me get that one point. And then you have all this on the back and the motor going up and down against that spot on both sides, just twisting and pulling and prying. So we'll try to brace it up a lot better. I'll get this zip tie cut, that pulled out, get this wire out the way. It's a cutoff switch. Probably ought to go ahead and pull this foam. That might be a little flammable. Too much. You'll get some zip ties to keep you in place there. Wiggling around. This is, I'm cutting it, it's vibrating around her as I'm grinding it here. I think we're going to have to take this shock off so I can push this further forward. So after taking a better look at it, this top part of the cage just unbolted from right here, right there, right up here. I just threw it on up there. So I'll get some of that out of the way so we can grind it a little bit better. So aggressive on grinding that. I don't want any of that old weld really in there. I want to grind most of it out. This to sit there to catch this side. Alright, we put the cage back on here to help line everything up. We ground where our welds are going to be at. I'm going to grind a little bit more after we get all this tack back up. I did wedge a block in here to help support this, to help line it up. Yes, I used wood clamps. I got one pulling this back, one pulling this down. Even have a ratchet strap right here pulling this over to get it back in place. This has been welded up several times. I cut a lot of that old weld out. But if you look, see, we're pretty lined up. Going down this surface, going down that surface. It's been fixed several times. After I weld it, you can see that tab peeled up. After I get it welded up here, down here, get some around the other side. I'll take a hammer and bend that back down and weld that. So here we got our welder, an Ironman 230. It's a pretty good size welder. Handy dandy chart on the inside here. What to set it on. Ours, we got 30 thou wire with the 75-25 mix. And it's somewhere right in here, this 334, 430. I'm going to start out with the 430. Tanks. Gas on. Alright, you may realize it's kind of dark here. I'm not trying to ruin my camera. We'll have to see how this turns out. I've got a cutting torch. We'll see how much of this we can catch. spot tack pretty good. I'm trying to maneuver around the camera too here, so. And I'm trying to work around all these clamps I got in the way. Alright, here we go. Trying to show you as much as I can here. This gap is so big, I gotta kind of stitch it here. That way I can bridge across from one side to another. You hear how smooth and even the crackling of the welder is. That's a pretty good indicator that we got it welded. We got it set right. That's a pretty good weld for having such a big gap. Get this underneath here. Sometimes too, since it's been cracked, kind of breaking through. It's a whole lot better than what was on there. Let's see if we can get this done before the camera overheats again. We've got to have it in a case to hold it, cup the weld, and have a lens over top of it. It's kind of getting a little hot. And this here, we need to build this up. See there, we filled it in. See what else we need to do here. I'm gonna go along the edge there. Kind of getting into a place where I think the old weld was. Bring a lot of the porosity out from the little welder. Go have a crack right along here. It's pretty good. I'll have to go around and get all the little spots, but here we have our end result. Weld up there. I welded this bar in right here. So see the center motor mounts right there. Going from that to this outside bar. Because this being right here on both sides, and this is out further, that's just creating a lever to pry up and down. Having this extra cage that only bolts on, these wiggle enough that it still lets that flex too much. Here's the other side. Should be good to go again.